Honorable Chairman, respected teachers and my dear colleagues, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Jarin Tasnar 1, Phase A resident. I am here on behalf of our weekly journal club presentation from Department of Pathology, BSMMU. I welcome you all to our presentation. Our today's topic is mechanisms that underlie fragile eggs-associated premature ovarian insufficiency. Is it RNA or protein-based? Our presenter is Dr. Umme Hani Samia Alom, Year 2, Phase A resident, Department of Pathology, BSMMU. Our panelists are Dr. Tanushree Pal, Year 3, Phase B resident, and Dr. Jigme, Year 3, Phase B resident. Our resident chairperson is Dr. Shihab Hassan, FCPS trainee. This presentation is under supervision of Dr. Soumitra Chakraborty, Assistant Professor, Department of Pathology, BSMMU. Now we will focus on our program schedule, starting with the main presentation. After that, we will have a question and answer session. Here, audiences are invited to ask nice questions. After that, we will have short speeches from our panelists 1 and 2 and from resident chairperson. In the second part of our presentation, we will have session from our Honorable Chairman, Professor Dr. Ferdowsi Begum, and from our respected teachers. Now we will proceed to the presentation part. I would like to request Dr. Umme Hani Samia Alom to present her presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, Madam, respected teachers, and my dear fellow colleagues. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Umme Hani Sami Alom, Year 2, Phase A resident. Welcome you all to today's Jana Club presentation. My topic is the molecular mechanisms that underlie fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency. Is it RNA or protein based? At first, what is mutation? Permanent change that occur in our DNA sequence is called mutation. Mutation that affect germ cells are transmitted to progeny and can give rise to inherited disorders. Broadly, genetic disorders can be categorized into 3 groups: single gene disorders, chromosomal abnormalities, and multifactorial disorders. Now, single gene disorders. Mutation in the DNA sequence of single genes are called single gene disorders. Most of the single gene disorders follow Mendelian principles and are known as classic inheritance. As for example, autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, and X-linked disorders. And disorders that does not follow the classic Mendelian principles are known as non-classic inheritance. The non-classic inheritance disorder can be categorized into 4 groups. Disorders caused by trinucleotide repeat mutations, disorders caused by mutation in the mitochondrial genes, and disorders associated with genomic imprinting, and disorders associated with gonadal mosaicism. Expansion of trinucleotide repeats is an important genetic cause of human disease. Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency is among a family of disorders. It is caused by the expansion of a CGG trinucleotide repeat sequence located in the 5' untranslated region of the FMR1 gene on the X chromosome. CGG repeat sequence is polymorphic in length. It can be categorized into 4 different size ranges. Healthy individuals have a normal repeat length with fewer than 44 CGG repeats. CGG repeat length between 45 and 54 are termed gray zone. Here, people are healthy but at risk of disease phenotype. Individuals with a pre-mutation have between 55 and 200 CGG repeats. This caused the condition Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency and Fragile X-associated tremors are known as full mutation. This causes Fragile X syndrome, which is the most common cause of inherited intellectual disorder. Now, Fragile X pedigree. Although normal length repeats are usually transmitted in a stable manner, but the risk of expansion increases with the length of the repeat. Pre-mutation have the highest risk, with expansion to full mutation in just one generation. When a pre-mutation carrier male marries a normal female, in first generation, all sons are normal and all daughters are the carriers. During oogenesis in the carrier female, pre-mutation expands to full mutation. So in the next generation, all males who inherit the X with full mutation are affected, and only 50% of the females who inherit the full mutation are also affected. Let's discuss about premature ovarian insufficiency. Premature ovarian insufficiency is defined as the loss of ovarian hormonal function with evidence of follicle depletion before the age of 40 years. Women with premature ovarian insufficiency may have early menopause and secondary amenorrhea. As a result, they suffer from psychoaffective changes like mood lability, insomnia, irritability, and also vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats. It has direct impact on infertility, and due to estrogen deficiency, they are at risk of osteoporosis and bone fracture, teeth impairment. In 20 to 30% cases, premature ovarian insufficiency is reported to be associated with autoimmune diseases. Now, physiological mechanisms that underlie compromised follicular function prior to the development of Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency. It occurs at various stages. These include inadequate formation of the ovarian reserve during fetal life, alteration in follicle recruitment and maturation that cause abnormally extensive depletion of ovarian reserve during postnatal life, and elevation in the follicular apoptotic index. Fetal mental retardation protein is expressed in oocyte, in fetal ovaries, and in granulosa cells of mature follicles. It regulates parathyroid signals and signaling pathways that are important for regulation of follicle growth. In pre-mutation, FMR1 gene is transcriptionally active and mRNA levels are elevated, but decrease FMRP production. So this causes increased follicle activation, which directly impacts ovarian reserve by causing abnormally fast depletion of reserve during postnatal life. Now the mechanism of RNA gain of function toxicity. In Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency, expanded CGT containing transcripts are exported from the nucleus in mRNA complexes, but these transcripts do not join 40S ribosomal subunit. So translation cannot take place, which causes reduction in FMRP levels. To compensate this condition, FMR1 transcription is augmented and there is an increase in FMR1 mRNA levels. Later, this toxic mRNA form internuclear aggregates that can sequester RNA binding proteins, which in turn inhibit the normal cellular functions, leading to cellular dysfunction and cell death. Here, several proteins interact directly in CGG repeat. Among them, SAM68 directly binds follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone mRNA. It causes follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone receptor resistance at receptor level, preventing follicle maturation. Now, the mechanism of repeat associated non-AUG translation. It enables initiation and elongation in the absence of AUG start codon. Here, translation of FMR1 RNA is initiated from a near-related ACG start codon, which results in the production of abnormal polyglycine or polyalanine proteins. These abnormal proteins interfere with normal cell function. Take-home message. FMR1 mRNA toxic accumulation in granular cells or formation of abnormal protein like FMR polyglycine in ovarian stromal cell or combination of both underlie the development of Fragile X state premature ovarian insufficiency. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Samia Alom, for your nice presentation. Now we will have our question and answer session. Residents may ask questions directly or through the chat box.
Thank you, Thomas Shaha, for your nice question. And pedigree show a record of an individual family history. It usually used as a study of transmission in hereditary disorders. Thank you.
There is another question from Dr. Israt. Why non-AUG translation is called toxic?
Translation is a complex process. In initiation step, at 5' end of mRNA, a start codon signals. Here, AUG usually acts as a start codon. But when other than AUG codon, like ACG acts as start codon, toxic protein formation takes place. Thank you.
From Dr. Yashona Pal, how can we diagnose Fragile X associated diseases?
Thank you, Yashona Pal, for your nice question. We can make antenatal and postnatal both diagnoses by amniocentesis, chronic villus sampling, and it can be done by molecular method like polymerase chain reaction, Southern blot, and thank you.
From Dr. Akhtaruzzaman, why Fragile X syndrome is called a disease of non-classic inheritance?
Thank you, Dr. Akhtaruzzaman, for your nice question. It is called the non-classic inheritance because it does not follow the classic rule principles of the Mendelian. Thank you.
From Dr. Fatima, is there any sign symptoms expressed by carrier of Fragile X syndrome?
Thank you, Dr. Fatima, for your nice question. Yes, premutation carriers may have symptoms like Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency. Women may suffer from early menopause, secondary amenorrhea, and also infertility. Thank you.
why it is named as Fragile X?
And thank you, Dr. Mahbub, for your nice question. Um, in cytogenetic studies, it shows discontinuity of staining or a constriction in the long arm of X chromosome. So it appears that the chromosome is broken at this locus. That's why it is named as the fragile site.
From Dr. Fahad, what is the basic difference between
সামিয়া নিজেকে আনমিউট করেন।
The basic difference between the molecular mechanism of Fragile X syndrome and Fragile X-associated premature ovarian insufficiency is that in Fragile X syndrome, there is the silencing of transcription. No protein production. And in premature ovarian insufficiency, there is dysfunctional transcription. So toxic mRNA production occurs here. Thank you.
Now we will proceed to the panelist session. I would like to call our first panelist, Dr. Tanushree Pal, to share her opinion regarding this topic.
Assalamualaikum, Honorable Chairman Madam, and to all of my teachers and my dear colleagues. I want to thank Dr. Samia for presenting this complicated topic in a very easy way. Now, I would like to briefly discuss about primary ovarian insufficiency, histopathology in case of primary ovarian insufficiency, and its difference with premature menopause. As we know, primary ovarian insufficiency defines when when a woman's ovaries stop working normally before the age of 40. It is stated that mostly the cause is idiopathic, but it is associated with many other causes such as autoimmune disease, then metabolic disease, viral infection, iatrogenic, like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, environmental toxins, cigarette smoking, and etc. Now, in primary ovarian insufficiency, the patient presented with missed period. So, what is the difference actually between premature menopause and primary ovarian insufficiency? In premature menopause, patients, there is no chance of pregnancy because complete cessation of menstruation occurs. But in case of primary ovarian insufficiency, there is chance of pregnancy as the evidence of intermittent ovulation without being visibly menstruated occurs. Now, histopathological findings in case of primary ovarian insufficiency. The result of ovarian histological examination lead to classification of patients into two categories. One is ovaries with the presence of follicles, either non-growing or with evidence of follicular growth consisting of the presence of follicles at various stages of maturation, or corporal lutea at various stages of their involution. And another category is ovaries showing no follicle. So in patients who have no follicles, they are correlated with hormone tests such as E2, inhibin B, FSH, and LH levels are compared then with histopathology. Now, why histopathology is superior than ultrasonography? Because sometimes ultrasonography cannot detect accuracy of follicular structures or presence of follicle. That's why histopathology is needed in cases of primary ovarian insufficiency detection. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Chairman, respected teachers, and my dear colleagues. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Samia and our sir, Dr. Soumitra, for the well prepared presentation. And for me, I want to touch a little bit about the available investigation or the test for this Fragile X expansion. The most commonly used two molecular tests are, as mentioned, I think by during the question and answer session, are the PCR. One is PCR and the Southern blotting. The PCR it can be of polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis or from the capillary gel electrophoresis. The advantage is that the PCR is very quick testing and involves less labor also. It permits accurate estimate of the repeat size, and also it differentiates from the normal, the intermediate, and most of the pre-mutation expansion size alleles. But it may not identify the some of the pre and field mutation size, especially in female. So for that, we can use Southern blotting. Southern blotting it identifies all the full mutation, and also if we add when the methyl sensitive enzyme is added, we can also identify the methylation status in that. But it is very much time consuming and needs more work. So now another test I have read in one of the paper is like if there is any serum biomarkers which have prognostic and diagnostic value. So they've done one study. I went through one study. They've done that in the premature ovarian insufficiency group, a normal group, and the menopausal group. They have found many differential proteins differentiating between them, but they have found about 12 specific premature ovarian insufficiency biomarkers. They have identified the proteins using antibody array analysis, which detects about more than 200 proteins in the human serum. Most of these 12 specific proteins are down-regulated, like neurotin, Frizzle 5, Serpin D1, then the interleukins like ICAM, interleukin 17, except FMIN 1 protein is upregulated. So in both menopause and normal, in these all proteins are more specific to premature ovarian insufficiency. These interleukins, these things are down-regulated because the more evidence, there is increasing evidence that show that the ovary is one of the target for autoimmune response, leading to the ovarian dysfunction and autoimmunity. So autoimmunity is one of the cause of premature ovarian insufficiency. And another one is the neutronin protein, which is found expressed high in the epithelium and mucosa of the oviduct. And it was thought to play a role in the in the process of follicular maturation and ovulation. FMM protein is increased here because this protein is increased mostly in the oxidative stress, and premature ovarian insufficiency is the status of elevated oxidative stress. So with this, we can use serum biomarkers and molecular testing for the diagnosis of the Fragile X and associated premature ovarian insufficiency. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jigni, for nice speech. Now I would like to request our resident chairperson, Dr. Shihab Hassan, to share his opinion regarding this article.
Dr. Shihab, unmute yourself.
My dear colleagues, Assalamu alaikum and very good noon. First of all, I like to give special thanks to Dr. Samia for his elaborative presentation. She almost touched every corners of these topics. Very little bit few remain for me, actually. In this session, I will highlight some points regarding this presentation, including some basic points also. First of all, the disease caused by the trinucleotide repeat mutation. The trinucleotide repeat mutation is a single gene disorder that doesn't follow the classic Mendelian principle. This disease, caused by the expansion of affecting the non-coding region, includes Fragile X syndrome, Friedreich's ataxia, myotonic dystrophy, and expansion affecting the coding region includes spinomuscular atrophy, Huntington disease, etc. The discovery of expanding trinucleotide repeat as the cause of Fragile X syndrome was the landmark of the human genetics. After that, 40 different human diseases are traced due to unstable trinucleotide expansion. The FMR1 gene, which is located on the long arm chromosome number X, contains the polymorphic CGG trinucleotide sequence in the 5' untranslated region. Basically, this mutation causes 3 diseases. One is Fragile X syndrome, which is caused by the full mutation, and other 2, that is Fragile X associated tremor or ataxia syndrome and Fragile X associated premature ovarian insufficiency. That's the topics of ours, causes by the pre-mutation. By this time, we all know what is mutation and what is pre-mutation. So the basic key mechanism by which the unstable repeat cause this disease by 3 mechanisms. That is loss of function of the affected gene by the transcription silencing of the as in the Fragile X syndrome. It is generally occurs in the non-coding part. Another one is the toxic gain of function mutation by alteration in the protein structure, as occurs in the Huntington disease and spinocerebellar ataxia. And another one is toxic gain of function mediated by RNA, cause 2 diseases, that is the Fragile X associated tumor or ataxias and Fragile X associated premature ovarian insufficiency. Now I want to highlight about the premature ovarian insufficiency. What is premature ovarian insufficiency? The term the premature ovarian insufficiency first coined by the Albright et al. In 1942. He reported as a cluster of symptoms is including amenorrhea, estrogen deficiency, and postmenopausal FSH level. But now, in modern days, the classification, the definition is somehow elaborated by saying that the cycle irregularities persist for consecutive 4 months and FSH level more than 40 international units at least 1 month apart. This is the modern definition. One thing should be clear about that: the premature ovarian insufficiency should not be equated with the menopause, because patient with premature ovarian insufficiency, 50% of the women of premature ovarian insufficiency have intermittent ovarian function, and 5 to 10% of women can conceive and have a normal baby. The first clinical symptoms during the adolescent aging 18 years will be the cyclical irregularity, menstrual cycle irregularity, or menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, like this. And if we analyze the hormone, there will be increase the FSH and LH level, and the anti-Mullerian hormone and the inhibin level will be decreased. So another thing, point regarding is that we know all about the range will be 55 to 200, but in this journal and also the various journal, it is said that the mid-cycle range, that is 80 to 100, having the most possibility of symptom having the premature ovarian syndrome and subsequently develop the full mutation. Why this is occurs? Here the written in the mid-cycle range, the CGG repeat carriers with reduced AGG interruptions which could cause the dysfunction within the ovaries, resulting in the diminished ovarian reserve. That is the possible mechanism for the mid-cycle range in causing the ovarian syndrome. Already mentioned the 2 possible mechanisms for developing the premature ovarian insufficiency and also the Fragile X associated tumor or ataxias. One is gain of function, toxic gain of function mutation of the mRNA, and also another one is the accumulation of the abnormal protein, that is the FMR poly G. This accumulates actually in case of Fragile X tumor ataxia. If you analyze the brain tissue of Fragile X tumor ataxia patient, we could see that there is the ubiquitin positive intranuclear inclusion composed of protein and RNA. This FMR1 mRNA intranuclear inclusion causes the gain of function mutation responsible for the development of Fragile X tumoral ataxia, and this subsequently causes the sequestration of FMRP and interrupt the normal function of the FMRP. This is the mechanism for causing the Fragile X associated tumor and ataxias as well as in the ovary. So the FMRP is very important. FMRP protein is important. Reduced FMRP level is directly associated with the premature ovarian insufficiency. Actually, this FMRP expressed in oocyte in the normal fetal ovaries and granulosa cell of the mature follicles. In the fetal life, due to reduced FMRP, the fetal endowment as well as the maintenance of the primordial germ cell could be affected. Consequently, there will be reduction in the primordial germ cell pool size, resulting in the reduced number of oogonia. And in the adult life, in case of this pre-mutation carrier, due to impairment, impairment occurs due to the mRNA-induced granulosa cell toxicity and subsequent dysfunction, dysfunctional detrimental effect in the inclusion containing FMR1 poly G in the stroma, and can be caused by this both mechanism. So there is the ultimate result in the reduction in the number of oocyte and the follicle. So the toxic gain of function mutation of the mRNA or the accumulation or the RAN translation, or both can contribute to the primary ovarian insufficiency. In conclusion remark, I want to just tell that the molecular mechanism underlying this fragile X-related follicular insufficiency is very complex, and adding the RAN translation, adding this additional complexity, and it is not actually yet not known that the RNA gain of function or protein-based mean or combination of both, which one is underlying the cause. But transgenic mice expressing this CGG repeat RNA and poly-G protein, both expressed in transgenic mice. And lastly, I would say that further studies should be advocated to elucidate the underlying pathogenesis causing the Fragile X associated insufficiency, premature ovarian insufficiency. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shihab Hassan. Now I would like to proceed to our teachers session. Our honorable teachers may ask questions or share their valuable opinion and guidance with us.
Thank you, Dr. Orobi, for closing your part. Now it's our turn. I would like to request our teacher if they have any comment or question regarding presentation or selection of journal. Dr. Saika.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Madam. আমি প্রথমে আসলে একটু বাংলায় বলি যে আপনাদের রেসিডেন্টদের আমি একটা ফলো করছি, where are the senior resident like ডক্টর সাজ্জাদ, সারিয়া, ওনারা আছেন? আমার কথা শোনা যায়? আপনাদের কি রেসিডেন্ট নাম্বার, রুম নাম্বার 1, ওখানেই তো সব মূলত মানে বেশিরভাগ রেসিডেন্ট আছেন। আচ্ছা, ম্যাডাম শুনতে পাচ্ছেন না? ওখানে আসলে অনেক অ্যাক্টিভিটিস, আই মিন যারা বলছেন ইন ফ্রন্ট অফ দ্য ল্যাপটপ তারা বলছেন, কিন্তু পিছনে অন্যান্য অ্যাক্টিভিটিস চলছে। হ্যাঁ, যে কথা হচ্ছে কেন একটা জার্নাল ক্লাব প্রেজেন্টেশন হবে 1 ঘন্টা, মানে ম্যাক্সিমাম ধরলাম 1 ঘন্টা কি 1.5 ঘন্টা, যাই হোক, সেই সময়টা আসলে সবারই শুনতে হবে। তো মানে হোয়াট ইজ দ্য পারপাস অফ দিস জার্নাল ক্লাব? এখান থেকে তো আমাদের সবারই কিছু শেখা, তাই না? আমরা কিছু লার্ন করব, কিছু শিখবো, এই জন্যই তো আমরা এই ক্লাবটা করছি নাকি? আমাদের সবারই তো উদ্দেশ্য যে আমরা একটা নলেজ গেইন করব। তো সেটা কি এরকম যে প্রেজেন্ট করবে সে বলে দিল? মানে এটা তো শুধু ফ্যাকাল্টির জন্য না যে ফ্যাকাল্টিরা শুনছে আপনারা কিভাবে কে পার্টিসিপেট করছেন, কিভাবে প্রেজেন্টেশন করছেন, না, এইটা তো আমাদের উদ্দেশ্য না। তাহলে সম্পূর্ণ সেশনটাই তো শোনার দরকার। এই যে প্যানেলিস্টরা ওনাদের ভ্যালুয়েবল ওপিনিয়ন দিচ্ছেন, ডিসকাশন করছেন, সেখানে কি আমাদের কোনো ইনফরমেশন নাই? সেখান থেকেও তো আমরা ইনফরমেশন জানবো। তো আমার মনে হয় যে মানে অন্যান্য আমি দেখছি যে সবাই মুভমেন্ট পিছনে ঘুরছে, করছে, মানে এটা আমার কাছে খুবই, আমি আজকে এটা ফলো করলাম যে এই রুমে এরকম ঘটনা ঘটছে। তো সবারই কিন্তু আসলে শুনতে হবে ইন ফ্রন্ট অফ দা ডেস্ক, ল্যাপটপের সামনে বসে। এটা হলো আমার প্রথম অবজারভেশন, এবং এটা আমার মানে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে 1 ঘন্টা 1.5 ঘন্টা চুপ করে বসে থাকা, অন্যান্য অ্যাক্টিভিটিস থেকে বন্ধ রাখা, মানে এটা তো উচিত আমার মনে হয়। তাহলে তো জার্নাল ক্লাবের কোনো মানে ইয়ে নাই, কোনো ইম্পর্টেন্স নাই আসলে। হ্যাঁ, এটা জাস্ট এই ক্যামেরার সামনে এসে বলতে পারলাম, বসলাম, বললাম, যারা আছেন, মানে দিস ইজ নট আওয়ার মোটো। হ্যাঁ, আমাদের এম কিন্তু এটা না। ফর দ্য রেসিডেন্ট আমি বলছি, কিন্তু আপনারা শুনছেন, এবং নেক্সট টাইম থেকে আমি কিন্তু এটা আমি দেখবো। আর সব রেসিডেন্ট যারা যেখানে প্লেস ঠিক আছে, বাকি সব রেসিডেন্টকে আমি জয়েন করতে হবে জার্নাল ক্লাবে। আচ্ছা, রিগার্ডিং দ্য টপিক, আমার আসলে একটু কোয়েশ্চেন আছে, মানে to the presenter, what is pre-mutation and how can you explain the gain of function in this I mean disease? এখানে বললো যে gain of function, এটা can you explain it? Do you understand my question, Samia?
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Now
For your next
Yeah,
question, premeditation means when the trinucleotide CGT repeats between the 55 to 200. Then mutation occurs, then it is called the pre-mutation. And gain of function means here dysfunctional transcription occurs, not transcription of silencing, which occurs in Fragile X syndrome. As a result, toxic mRNA production occurs, which accumulates in a cell nucleus and causes cellular dysfunction.
So actually the mutation can be classified in many ways. Do you know the classification of mutation? Have you gone through this topic? I mean,
Yes,
some
madam.
of the basic knowledge actually you have to
Yes,
first
madam.
study. Huh? Yeah.
Yes. There are point mutation, madam, frameshift mutation.
So there is one type of classification like based on the function. So what are the types of mutation depending on the function? Do you know?
Gain of function, mutation, and loss of function mutation.
No, there are other two types also. Haplodeficiency. So these are the basic things. Actually, to understand genetics, first the basic things we have to study. So already your supervisor has taken the classes. I think you have joined the class. Did you do the class
Yes, madam.
on genetics? Yes. Okay.
Yes, madam.
So basic some information actually first you have to know. I thought you are in year 1. So year 2, yes, there is genetics. So that's why maybe the supervisor has selected this topic. But this is, I mean, bit earlier because the basic things actually you have to understand, like what is DNA, what are the types of DNA, then mutation, what are the types of mutation, okay, and how does it occur, mutation এর classification বোঝার পরে সেগুলো কিভাবে হচ্ছে তখন বিভিন্ন I mean the disease related function গুলো বুঝতে পারবেন কিভাবে হচ্ছে. So this is a controversy, I mean some it is not clear yet, this Fragile X syndrome. আপনি কি FMR1 জিন সম্বন্ধে বলেছেন? It was described
Yes.
in your
Yes,
presentation.
madam.
বলেছেন না FMR1 জিন? তো এটা তো মেইনলি আসলে কোথায় থাকে? And is there any classical inheritance of this Fragile X?
It is non-classical, madam.
Non-classical. Is there any classical pattern of inheritance? I mean, previously it was suggested like that.
X-linked dominant disorder.
X-linked dominant. আচ্ছা, তো এইটা মানে আসলে এখন যেটা বলা হচ্ছে যে আপনি মেইনলি আসলে ফোকাস করেছেন প্রিম্যাচিউর ওভারিয়ান ইনসাফিসিয়েন্সি। আপনার প্রেজেন্টেশনটা হয়তো আর একটু ইলাবোরেট করতে পারতেন, মানে আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে খুব একটু শর্ট হয়েছে, আর একটু বলতে পারতেন আর কি আরো কিছুক্ষণ, মানে খুব অল্প, মানে আর্টিকেলটা কিন্তু মানে রিভিউ আর্টিকেল, তো হোয়াট টাইপ অফ আর্টিকেল ইট ইজ আপনি দেখেছেন?
Yes, madam, it is review of article.
রিভিউ আর্টিকেল, রিভিউ আর্টিকেল মিন্স কি? রিভিউ আর্টিকেল বলতে কি বোঝায়? আপনার ধারণা আছে এটা বলতে কি বোঝায়? অনেকগুলো স্টাডি কিন্তু হ্যাঁ একটা কোনো এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করে নাই তো, তাই না? হ্যাঁ, তাহলে এটা তো অনেক বড় একটা জিনিস আছে, ডেসক্রিপটিভ অনেক, রিভিউ আর্টিকেল তো অনেক ডেসক্রিপটিভ, তাই না? তো রিভিউ আর্টিকেল প্রেজেন্ট করা ইট ইজ ভেরি, আমার তো মনে হয় যেটা খুব টাফ, মানে একটা টপিক না আর কি, হ্যাঁ অনেকগুলো। তো এখন এটা খুব লেটেস্ট, আমি দেখলাম 2020 তে এটা। তো রিভিউ আর্টিকেলটা তো মানে অনেক বড় এবং অনেক এক্সপ্লেনেশন করেছে সেখানে, কিন্তু আপনার প্রেজেন্টেশনটা আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে একটু শর্ট হয়েছে, আসলে হয়তো বা অত ডিটেইলে আপনাদের বোঝাটাও কঠিন। তো এটা একটু আর্লি আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে এত জেনেটিক্স রিলেটেড। তবে আপনাদের মানে স্যার ক্লাস নিয়েছেন, স্টিল অত ক্লিয়ার মানে বোঝাটা হয়তো বা আপনাদের পক্ষে এখনো এত ভালো সম্ভব হবে না আর কি। তবে আপনাদের যেমন সিনিয়র, যেমন লাস্ট শিহাব, Dr. Shihab has explained, I mean, I think very nicely. As a chairperson, আপনি আমার মনে হয় যে উনি ওনার ডিউটিটা ভালো করে মানে এক্সপ্লেন করেছেন, এবং এইটা শোনা, এটা সবাই শুনলেন কিনা, মানে আমার কাছে মনে হলো যে আপনারা অন্য অ্যাক্টিভিটিস নিয়ে ব্যস্ত, তো সবকিছু প্রেজেন্টারের কাছ থেকে হয়তো বা নাও বোঝা যেতে পারে। সো দ্য ইম্পর্টেন্স, আই মিন, we have to give the importance on the panelists also, panelists and the chairperson, ওনাদের কথাগুলো কিন্তু আমাদেরকে শুনতে হবে, হ্যাঁ, তাহলে আইডিয়াটা আরো ক্লিয়ার হবে। লাস্টে এসে তো এই জিনিসগুলো হচ্ছে, তো ওখানেও আমাদেরকে আমার মনে হয় যে মনোযোগ দেওয়া উচিত। সরি, আর্টিকেল মানে চয়েস করা আর্টিকেল ঠিক আছে, বাট আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে একটু মানে বিট আর্লিয়ার হয়তো আরো একটু মানে ইজি জেনেটিক্স রিলেটেড হতে পারতো, আর একটু ইজি। আর এখানে তো আসলে আর অনেক ধরনের আপনাদের সাবজেক্ট এখানে 4টা, তো যদি জেনেটিক্স এর ক্লাস হয়ে থাকে হয়তো সেই হিসাবে আপনার সুপারভাইজার সিলেক্ট করেছে। ওকে, তারপরও আমার কাছে মনে হয় একটু আমাদের একটু কষাস থাকা উচিত, আর একটু দেখা উচিত, বা আর একটু এক্সপ্লেন করলে পারতেন হয়তো বা, কারণ হচ্ছে যে এটা তো একটু ডিফিকাল্ট মানে সাবজেক্ট, তাই না? তো আপনারা ক্লাস করেছেন, কিন্তু এখন তখন সবার জন্য আবার এটা আপনি বলছেন, সো এক্সপ্লেন আর একটু করতে পারতেন আর কি। আপনি ইন্ট্রোডাকশনে কিছুটা বলেছেন, আই মিন দ্য জেনারেল টার্মস কিছুটা বলেই আপনি আর্টিকেলে চলে গেলেন, এবং আর্টিকেলটাতেও মানে অনেক ধরনের কথা আছে যেটা আলটিমেট মানে যেগুলো হয়তো বা আপনি স্কেপ করেছেন ইচ্ছা করে হয়তো, কারণ এত ডিটেল এখানে রিভিউ আর্টিকেল, তো এটা ডিসক্রাইব করা এটা আই মিন প্রেজেন্ট করাটা, তো ওটা ওই জন্য হয়তো বা ছোট হয়ে গিয়েছে আর কি। তো আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে আর একটু এক্সপ্লেন করতে পারতেন, তবে সেটা আপনার কাছে ক্লিয়ার না হলে এক্সপ্লেন করাটা কঠিন। তো ঠিক আছে, আমার মনে হয় ফিউচার আমরা এটা খেয়াল রাখবো। আর রিগার্ডিং রেসিডেন্ট আমার এটাই থাকবে যে 1-1.5 ঘন্টা একটু মনোযোগ দিতে হবে, হ্যাঁ, এত অমনোযোগী হয়ে তো আসলে জানাটা পড়া যায় না। ঠিক আছে, আপনাদের জন্যই তো এই প্রেজেন্টেশন, তাই না? তো সবাইকে শুনতে হবে। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you, Dr. Saka. Actually, regarding article presentation, I'm agree with you. This is very elaborate, and this is review article. If the resident of gynae department, endocrine department, and pathology department, এই 3টা ডিপার্টমেন্টের resident যদি একসাথে এটাকে present করতো, that will be more easier for the audience. কারণ এটা হলো সাবজেক্ট অনেক elaborate, এত মানে আর কি এত শুধু প্যাথোলজি স্টুডেন্টের জন্য এটা একসাথে প্রেজেন্ট করাটা একটু টাফ, কিন্তু বাট ডক্টর শিহাব হি হ্যাজ নাইসলি কনক্লুডেড হিজ রিমার্কস। ওকে, ইজ দেয়ার এনি কোশ্চেনস অর কমেন্ট ফ্রম other teacher? I have one question. Have you seen any karyogram in Fragile X syndrome case in our laboratory? Senior student, to our senior student, all senior student, not the presenter. কেউ কি দেখেছেন কোনো ক্যারিওগ্রাম আপনারা আমাদের এখানে ফ্রেজাইল এক্স সিনড্রোমের? ক্যারিও টাইপিং হয় না আমাদের বিএসএমএমইউ তে, শুনতে পাচ্ছেন আপনারা? বা আমি স্টুডেন্টরা কি দেখেছেন? মানে দিস ইজ দ্য নেক্সট কমন আদার দেন ডাউন সিনড্রোম কজ অফ মেন্টাল রিটার্ডেশন। কোনো কেস কি আমাদের এখানে রিপোর্ট হয়েছে ডক্টর বিষ্ণু, ডক্টর সাকা?
হ্যাঁ, এখন রিগার্ডিং এটা বলার কথা যে 1970 তে অ্যাকচুয়ালি ফ্রম সাইটোজেনেটিক্স ইট ওয়াজ ডিসকভার্ড দ্যাট ফ্রেজাইল এক্স, এই নামটাও আসলো কোথা থেকে? সেই এক্স ক্রোমোজোমের লং আর্মের মধ্যে একটা কনস্ট্রিকশন দেখা যায়, বা ডিসকন্টিনিউটি অফ দ্য স্টেনিং, যে ডিম সার স্টেনিং করা হয় সেই স্টেনিংটা ওই জায়গাটা থাকে না, হঠাৎ করে এক জায়গায় নাই, ব্রেক দেখা গেল, এটা ফ্রেজাইল মানে ভেঙে গেছে ক্রোমোজোমটা। তো এইটা করতে গেলে কি লাগবে? একটা স্পেশাল মিডিয়া লাগে, সেটা হচ্ছে ফোলেট ডেফিশিয়েন্ট মিডিয়া। তো আমরা এই মিডিয়াটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ইউজ করি না, দ্যাটস ওয়াই উই ডোন্ট ডু দিস ফ্রেজাইল এক্স। যখন ক্লিনিক্যাল এটা বলে দেয় তখন আমরা সাধারণত বলি যে আমাদের এটা করা সম্ভব নেই, বিকজ উই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ দ্য মিডিয়া। এটা একটা আরেকটা হচ্ছে যে 40% পেশেন্টে অ্যাকচুয়ালি এই আমরা সাইটোজেনেটিক্যালি এই যে মানে ফ্রেজাইল এক্সটা দেখতে পাবো। তো এর মধ্যে আবার 10% মানে মেলের ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যাবে, ফিমেলের ক্ষেত্রে তো দেখাই যায় না। দ্যাটস ওয়াই এখন মানে মোস্ট আই মিন সুটেবল ডায়াগনস্টিক টেকনিক ইজ the DNA sequencing or the repeat আমরা ইয়াটা দেখব নিউক্লিওটাইড সিকোয়েন্স এটা দেখাই
হ্যাঁ
এটাই
ওরা তো
আমাদের
বললো যে পিসিআর এন্ড
technique.
সাউদার্ন
PCR
ব্লট অ্যানালাইসিস
হ্যাঁ PCR ফলোড বাই সাদার্ন ব্লট এটা মিথাইলেশন দেখার জন্য সাদার্ন ব্লট এটাই অ্যাকচুয়ালি টেকনিক যেটা দিয়ে ডিটেক্ট করা যাবে সব তো সাইটোজেনেটিক্সটা ইউজুয়ালি এখন
আর
করা হয় যেহেতু
দ্যাট
percentage
টেকনিক
টা কম।
দ্যাট ওল্ড টেকনিক যেটা ক্যারিওটাইপ যেটা প্রভিন্সের
Old
ছবি
technique.
দেওয়া আছে সেটা ওয়ার্ল্ডে এখন
হ্যাঁ,
প্র্যাকটিস করে না তাই তো
করে না
আর
actually,
আমাদের
হ্যাঁ,
এখানে হলো এই আমাদের তো এই আমাদের এখানে আছে কি না এটা মনে হয় প্রেজেন্টেশন আগে একটু জেনে নিলে মনে হয় ভালো হতো যেহেতু এখানে
political
ক্যারিওটাইপিং
media আমার
হচ্ছে
নাই, হ্যাঁ, media
মানে
আমার
হলো এটা তো একটু মানে ওরা কিন্তু এগুলো বলেছে ডিউরিং প্রেজেন্টেশন দ্যাট পিসিআর এন্ড সাউদার্ন ব্লট অ্যানালাইসিস করে এগুলো আবার দেয়ার আর সাম রোল অফ কি প্রোটিন অ্যানালাইসিস ইন দ্য সেরাম সেটারও
হ্যাঁ,
রোল
সেটা
আছে
হ্যাঁ।
কিন্তু আমাদের ডিপার্টমেন্টে কি আছে সেটাও একটু হাইলাইট করলে এবং জানলে এটা ভালো ঠিক আছে মানে আপনার নিচের ডিপার্টমেন্টে কি হচ্ছে এটা জিনিসটা তো হচ্ছে এখন হচ্ছে না কেন এখন ম্যাডামের কাছ থেকে আমি শুনলাম ঠিক আছে থ্যাংক ইউ সাইকা is there any question or comment from Vishnu regarding the selection of this
Yes, madam.
data?
Thanks.
Hmm.
Yes, madam. I have a question. Before asking my question, I would like to express some of my comments regarding selection and hearing from our senior teacher, Saika madam. My most concern regarding the Fragile X syndrome, not regarding the primary subfertility or primary infertility. I am concerned about this patient's mental retardation. What happened after his puberty? She is able to give birth a child is not very important to me. Then it is very important how the mental retardation should correct or the individual survive in the art healthy life. And regarding Saika madam's comment, recently I have gone through the curriculum of the secondary school, and I am astonished to see the what is DNA structure, what is mutation, types of DNA, types of mutation in the 9 and 10 class curriculum. That's why recently the student they have passed from secondary school or higher secondary, they eventually know the DNA and regarding this and that. Actually, when we have passed the school or higher secondary, we don't able to know the what is DNA actually or what is mutation. We able to heard this term in the medical level. And my question is to Dr. Samia, is there any effect of Fragile X syndrome in superwoman, or can it happen to the superwoman? Superwoman means that woman that has more than 2 X chromosomes. Samia.
Sorry, sir. I actually don't know about this.
In that case, you may refer to the question to your supervisor.
Yes, yes, sir, would you please answer the question, Dr. Soumitra sir?
Actually, there has been case reports of 46XXX who also have Fragile X syndrome. There are published case reports so far I know. This yes, trisomy X. So trisomy X karyotype can have associated Fragile X syndrome. And also, I think this answers the question. Either one or two or all three can have Fragile X property. due to different mechanisms, some due to meiotic non-disjunction or mitotic non-disjunction. That is a chapter of its own. But conversely, there are also cases with Turner syndrome, and that only X chromosome has got a fragile X there, obligate carrier female, they're known as that. So there are many different combinations of X chromosomes from 1X to 3X. All can have fragile X features in there, and the clinical symptoms can vary from asymptomatic to ovarian premature ovarian insufficiency to fragile, full-blown fragile X syndrome. So there is a whole spectrum of disorder there, including the superwoman Dr. Bishnu was talking about. This is in brief, but there are many more detail, I think. So thank you.
Another thing I want to clarify from the Dr. Samia. Dr. Samia, you have told that most of the genetic disease follow the Mendelian law. But as far I know, most of the disease don't follow the Mendelian law. What is the actual statement regarding this? Dr. Samia, do you follow me?
Yes, sir.
So I think Dr. Bishnu, would you please ask the question again? Please, Dr. Samia, listen carefully.
In your presentation, you have mentioned that most of the genetic disease follow the Mendelian law. But as far I know, most of the disease don't follow the Mendelian law. What will be the exact statement regarding?
Think that is Mendel's law archi that is reflected in what type of lesion, and is that lesion is common to the society?
Yeah. Yes, madam. The disorders that follow the Mendelian principles are autosomal dominant disorder, autosomal recessive, and the fragile and X-linked disorders. And
no, the question was not that.
Normal population কোনগুলা বেশি কমন, মানে এমনি কি ওগুলা বেশি কমন, এই যে অটোজোমাল ডমিনেন্ট রিসেসিভ এই সমস্ত ডিসঅর্ডার যেগুলা সিঙ্গেল জিন ডিসঅর্ডার উইথ মাল্টিপল এফেক্ট আর কি, ম্যাস ইফেক্ট, ওইটা কি আর বেশি কমন নাকি অন্যগুলা বেশি কমন? কোনটা বেশি কমন?
multifactorial disorder.
হ্যাঁ, that is most common, multifactorial or multigenetic.
So, Sumita, would you like to add some points regarding this?
Well, thank you, Dr. Bishnu. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, Madam, and Dr. Sahika, Madam, for your opinion. Also, I'm thanking all other respected teachers and also the residents and trainees. And regarding Mendelian disorder, this type of disorder or Mendelian inheritance pattern was first discovered by Gregor Johann Mendel. That's why the Mendelian disorder has got its own category. But the thing is that most of the inheritance patterns, both physiological and pathological inheritance patterns, they do not follow the Mendelian law exactly. Mendelian law is actually a special case of all the genetic disorder, and this special case was discovered first. And more general cases of genetic disorders are actually non-Mendelian disorders. Now, since this is a special case of genetic disorder, Mendelian inheritance disorder, and Mendelian inheritance is a little bit easier to investigate. That's why Gregor Johann Mendel could describe this first. Before him, other breeders, I mean, those who experimented with plant and animal breeding and reproduction and their inheritance pattern, there are many inheritance researchers at the time of Gregor Johann Mendel and even before them, but those people could not find the common law or formula how genetics that explains genetics, because those persons were dealing with multifactorial disorders, and if somebody wants to discover genetics for the first time, it is easier to discover the easy thing first, which is the Mendelian disorder, and then the difficult things, discovery of difficult thing is possible. But before Mendel, other people were trying to discover the difficult thing first, the non-Mendelian genetics. That's why they were not successful, because they didn't know how to explain all the data. But fortunately, Gregor Johann Mendel selected P, that is a type of plant that has got a very simple genetic structure, and he selected 7 characteristics and did different breeding experiments, cross pollination, etc. And interestingly, those out of those 7 characteristics, only 2 were on the same chromosome, and the other 5 were situated in 5 different chromosomes. So these genes were not transmitted together. So that's why he could understand what is happening. And before him, other people were trying with different plants and animals and genes that were situated in the same chromosome, but chromosome was not discovered yet. So when the results were there, the numbers didn't make any sense. It was very confusing because chromosome was not discovered, DNA was not discovered at that time, and inheritance pattern was not discovered at that time. So if somebody is trying to diagnose a multifactorial disorder before the discovery of genetics, before the discovery of DNA, before the discovery of chromosome, then that person will fail. But the Mendel was the first to choose an easy example, that is Mendelian disorder, and later it was translated into medicine. But eventually the more complex and more common things, that is multifactorial, multigenetic, polygenic disorders, those were discovered, and the initial discovery of Mendelian inheritance pattern helped to diagnose and to work on the more complex factors. So the lesson is here that knowledge is actually an incremental process. First, the easy things are discovered. It's easier to discover Mendelian disorder first, and step by step, one should go towards more complex things. And the same thing is true in case of education system as well. At class 9, 10 SSC, they study about students right now. The curriculum enables them to study about the DNA and the types of mutation, etc. In HSC, they will learn about the Mendelian inheritance pattern and other things in details. And when they enter the undergraduate MBBS, they will learn some more. And at postgraduate levels, they have to deal with the complex situations. So there is a parallel between the two. Thank you.
Okay, Kabir bhai, do you want to add something?
Yes. I am asking that in the introduction, this should the resident should explain why it called the fragile eggs. The Saika also give the description of you, but it should include it in the slide. And one thing, X-linked disorder, it affects mainly males. Why the females are affected, it should be explained. And finally, regarding the selection of topics, I think we can gain extra knowledge by the this type of topics, but for the student, more usable topics can be added, like the type of grossing, how to give the gross, and also why we use special stance and types of special stain used in histopathology. This type of topics can also be added to the journal club, which are most useful and corrective to the all resident and students. I think sometime we can add this type of topics in the journal club. Thanks to all.
Okay, thank you, Kabir Bhai. I think we are ahead of time. I would like to thanks everybody for participating. And now I would like to end our session. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.